Hey guys, how many of you have always wanted to be a firefighter, but perhaps have wondered about some of the myths that have surrounded this profession? Well, if that's the case, you're in luck, because that's exactly what we're going to cover next on this week's bonus session of Manly Moments.
There's a fire in the house!
Note to self, never play with matches at a fire station. Well, as fired up as I am today, if I'm honest, I don't know the first thing about serving at a fire department. Fortunately, I know someone who does. It's my old friend and longtime firefighter, Wyman Ashford. How's it going, Wyman?
How you doing, Robbie?
Good. Well, first things first, thanks for having me at Station 12 here today, but tell me, how did you get your start? How long have you been doing this? What's your story?
Well, I always wanted to serve my community or serve the public, so I joined the Air Force. And once I got in the Air Force, I became a firefighter there, and then I knew I wanted to serve in my community. So I got on the Fort Wayne Fire Department.
And how long have you been doing this?
I've been doing it for about 20 years, almost 21 years this year.
Man, you're getting old.
Yeah, I am.
Whether you're aware of this or not, there are several myths out there regarding firefighters that I was hoping you could clear up for us today through a little game I like to call fact or fiction. Well, here's how it's going to work. I'm going to read 10 different assumptions that people have about firefighters, and you're going to tell us whether each statement is fact or fiction based on your experience, generally speaking. Are you ready?
Fire away.
Okay, fact or fiction. When not fighting fires, the guys mainly just lie around and play cards all day.
Huh? Well, we do have some free time, but we don't sit around and play cards.
Well, how many fires do you think you put out in a week on average?
It depends, but usually between 1 or 2 fires a week.
Okay, so obviously some of your calls aren't fire related.
No, matter of fact, most of our calls are EMS related. That's the majority of our calls.
And what would you say you guys do with all your free time when you do have free time?
Most of our time is spent training or even working out. But training is the majority of our time.
So obviously, number one is definitely a myth.
Number 1 is a myth.
All right, fact or fiction? Firefighters and police officers don't get along.
Totally not true. We're all professionals and have a job to do. Ours just happen to be a little bit more important than theirs.
Oh, so that's a myth.
That is a myth.
Fact or fiction? Firefighting movies are pretty realistic.
I don't know about that.
Let's take a look at some of them.
All right.
What about Ladder 49?
That was a good movie.
Backdraft.
Totally Hollywood.
Towering Inferno.
Ever seen it?
Fireproof?
That's about the closest one.
So if I'm hearing you right, it sounds like that firefighting movies are not very realistic. This is a myth.
That is a myth.
Next question. Fact or fiction? All firefighters are good cooks. I said all firefighters are good cooks.
Hey, taste this, would you? I don't know where you're getting all your information from. Only half of us are really good cooks. Yuck.
Which half are you?
Very funny.
That's definitely a myth. Right. Next question, fact or fiction?
All right.
Firefighters fight over who gets to hold the hose.
That's not true. Actually, they fight over who has to put the hose away.
That makes sense. Definitely a myth. Okay, fact or fiction? It's a big deal for a firefighter to be the one to drive the truck.
That's fiction. Actually, it's more important for someone to turn the siren on.
Wow. You mean this button right here? Gee. All right, fact or fiction? Firefighters love sliding down the poles.
We don't even have a pole.
Well, fact or fiction? Most fire stations have a Dalmatian as a mascot.
We don't even have a dog.
What kind of? I don't think this even sounds like a real fire station.
This is a real fire station. Those are definitely myths.
Okay, here's another one. Fact or fiction? Firefighters rarely have to pay for a meal.
That is definitely a myth.
I thought all meals were paid for.
It is, by us.
Oh, definitely a myth. All right, one last question. Fact or fiction? Firefighters' uniforms and gear weigh nearly 50 pounds.
That's actually a fact.
What? How long does it take to put all that stuff on?
About 2 minutes.
2 minutes? No wonder this profession doesn't have that many women. Do you know how long it takes my wife to prepare for anything?
No, that's a little bit different.
Well, I gotta ask you, what is it you like so much about being a firefighter?
There's two things that I like. One is the people that I work with. I love working and serving my community with them. But the number one thing I like is serving the public. When we can change lives by what we do, that's the greatest feeling you can ever have.
Wow. So there you have it. All the firefighting myths exposed. Wait right here. This is really cool.
What's that? Come on, we gotta go. That's a real call.
Hey, if you like this video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. Be sure to check out some of our other videos, and we'll see you next time for another installment of Manly Moments.